welcome to the recap show. Thank you so much for your patience today. Wow. What a day, and it's in the books, and that was absolutely wild. Thank you so much for joining us up here live once again, and yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. Traders stay late today with this recap show. So absolutely amazing. I'm still getting like goosebumps about that ARM. What a day, what a day. What an IPO for ARM. Let's just have a quick look. What's it doing here in the aftermarket? 63.25 right there for ARM. And it's actually helped all the markets today, baby. The only thing that we have red, yo, what's up with that, Silver? Come on, Silver, get going. Red on Silver today, but we'll wait to see what's going on with that name. Let's just check out what's Silver looking like on the daily. We haven't looked at that in a while. Oh yeah, Silver breaking lower right now. Watch out for SLV heading to the low side. But hey, what won today? The retail winning today with XRT. We watched out for some Amazon, Walmart hitting highs as well. Check out this Walmart stock. This is a little bit of an undercover brother right here. Nice move, man, taking out highs right now. Please ignore this. I got to talk to Michael about this because it's not earnings or anything. There it is, a nice move up. Oh, we do have Adobe getting ready to hit up now as well. If that does come, we will watch out for Adobe right now and their earnings coming hot off the wires. When that does hit, I will have that live for everybody right here. And I'm not going to look at the camera all the time because I'm trying to find out what's going on right now. We have Benzinga Pro right here. So if anything pops in on that front as far as earnings are concerned, we'll get it real quick right here on that one. So thank you so much for putting up with that. But when Adobe hits, we will have that. The TAN ETF, again, look at this one on the daily, man. It's just bouncing its ugly head right now off of 55. We'll wait for a little bit more funding from the government on this one. Tesla charging stations and stuff like that. This is a solar play, but you know, energy always going to be on people's mind. And of course, with oil breaking through 11-month highs today, TAN ETF catching a little bit of a bid. We'll find out more about that, and shout out to Reliable Rudy and others that are looking at end phase right now. I still haven't been able to get into this. I've been a little bit busy after market and things like that, but I do want to do some more research into end phase. I think that could be a good one. The KRE, the regional banks. You know what was surprising today? The XLF, man. The banks were rocking today back up to the upside, so that continues to get going. XLF is only up 0.9, but you know what's a little sleeping giant, and it's the biggest one, so it is a giant. JP Morgan makes its way almost back to 150, so watch out there for the 50-period moving average on JP Morgan. Great bottom. Not apple bottom, but a great bottom there for those guys. And then we said we wanted to buy some BAC because our friend is in this, Warren, and the Oracle of Omaha down in here. I was waiting for a little bit 27, only got to 28. A nice bounce up to 29.50 on that one. There's OIH and USO. I mean, OIH, there it is, taking names, getting back up to the upside. The highest level on OIH, until you can't even see, all the way back past September's as we go. Let's zoom out. Look. OIH, where art thou? It's gone. It's way up on that one. USO as well, breaking. There it is, USO. The OIH is oil holders. USO, of course, more the oil fund. So this is more representative of what's happening on the CL side of things. And then we have Lennar coming. So maybe we'll see if that ever hits here as well. I don't see anything hitting on Lennar right now or on Adobe. But we go over. Let's just check to see, is Lennar out yet? Lennar might be out. I don't see it right there, so we'll see about that. Disney to cut target for Disney Plus streaming subscribers. Disney to cut target. I don't even know what that means. Is Disney going to the downside right now? A little bit of a downside push there for Disney, but not much happening right now. That might be an old report. We did see Disney today getting excited. Why? Because they were going to start to look to sell off some of their units, including ABC. I think that's a great move. I think they got to get some more cash. I don't know if they're ever going to reinstate dividend or anything like that, but that sent stock flying from right there, 83.50. That story on Disney, trying to look to sell off ABC and looking for bidders there. They did catch one bid, but nothing on that yet as far as a value or anything concerned. Watch out for Disney. We actually traded that quite well today. Here was my day on Disney. Adobe is out. Okay, so here we go. Let's check out for Adobe quickly, ADBE. Initial reaction on Adobe. It's all green, baby. Yes, sir. We are in this name, so let's go. We own some Adobe shares. Nice move to the upside. They're taking out 566. Let's go over here. Adobe, nice move. Where are we on the daily for Adobe right now? Yeah, right back there. So watch out for some resistance at 568. That's the high. 566. We actually have a support and resistance talk coming with Chris very, very soon. So what a surprise. The top is 566. The top right here is 568 or so. Let's review what exactly Adobe is saying right now. Q3 EPS 409 beats 398. Meh on that. Sales 4.89 versus 4.87. Meh on that one as well. That just means like comme si, comme ça. Like it's neither hot nor cold on those plays right there. Let's just find out. Oh, here it is right here. Here, I was gonna say, let's just find out what they're expecting. So they have Q4, right? So their next quarter, adjusted EPS of 410 to 415, beating the estimate of 406. So that's nice, but the low end of the EPS still higher, so that's good. It's this that's maybe worrying investors right now as Adobe, 497 versus 502, estimate 5. So they could come in on the lower end of the estimate there on the earnings. So for this current quarter, sending Adobe back into life right now, only at 0.62 right now for ADBE. Nice earnings call. We talked about this with Danielle yesterday. She said Adobe, I think it was beat, I think it was 4 of the last 5. I'll have to rewind that, but there it goes. Now turning red. Let's put it on the big screen so you can see this a little bit better. There goes Adobe now. 1 minute chart, please. There it is, now turning red on that guide is all that I can guess for Adobe. So a little bit of a miss there. As we can go over to the next topic, we're on earnings right now. The sector watch was pretty good, man. We got a nice number there today with PMI. We had a nice CPI number yesterday, both shooting the markets upside. NASDAQ was up 1% at one point, finishes down, but up 0.8 still on NASDAQ. Lennar, I don't see that out yet. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's have a quick look. This is a minute chart for Lennar. Lennar fading down to 116, but I don't see a report yet for Lennar, so we'll hold out. We'll hold out on that one. The death clock is now up, 21 minutes to go in the show. So look, we are going to talk about ARM a little bit later, so let's see where that one is right now. ARM IPO holding out back into 62. What an epic move. We're going to talk about how I traded ARM. That's going to be after we get done with Chris. But right now, nice move up to $65. Wow. SoftBank finally gets to lick their chops a little bit as ARM not only comes out at the higher end of the IPO, but also closing near 65, now down to 63. But that's a good way to get out of some of their shares. Remember, SoftBank still owning 90% of ARM, only released 4.7 million shares today. So that's good. You know, what did the home builders do today? We talked about that, up 1.2%, waiting for Lennar. It's funny because, you know, it's ticking lower there, almost as if it's out. You guys tell me, I'll look at the chat. I'm not seeing Lennar out right now. So Adobe earnings, still want to trade Adobe earnings? No, I don't want to trade them, but they're pretty violent there in the aftermarket. It's funny because we had Chris on, and he's going to come on today with Adobe. We had him on with NVIDIA earnings, and he was talking about how you could exercise sort of your option in the aftermarket by just simply taking the shares and then covering the option the next day because the option market's closed. So I don't know if he's in anything on this, but Adobe had a beautiful move right back up. And the thing is like, look where it stopped. If you guys think that it's just stopping at random levels, you're not going to be correct, because if we go over here to, let's just go to a 60-minute chart, it stopped right here. Like, these are past highs. 566, come to the screen here if we can, because that'll be the only way to show this. 566, 570, yeah, Fabian, you're a busy guy, man, don't worry about it. 571, 572 right there. Those were the past highs that was made back on the 9th or the 7th of September, now pulling back in. I would say if you're going to look for a downside move right now, why not stop and drop at 540? And we're getting pretty close to that right now on the 1-minute chart. We just bounced off of 546. So again, this is why for me on earnings plays, specifically, it's funny because we could have Sharif here. Sharif is one of the guys that when he first started, he was sitting right behind us, and he was actually focusing on post-market earnings plays. And I turned around to him and said, dude, you'll be dead in the water if you sit here and focus on those, because, you know, just like moves like this, like where do you get long, and then what happens when this happens almost immediately, let alone the volume as it dries up on these earnings plays. So you got to be very, very careful when you're trying to follow earnings plays, right? It can go up, it can go down. You definitely want to zoom back out and see if there's anything else. I'm still not seeing Lennar, so we're going to pass on that. Just quickly here, the triple Qs again. We actually talked about this. I believe it was with Chris last week, the RESP, when we talked about, or maybe it was with Michael, the RSP, talking about getting some different exposure rather than tech names. But I still like the tech names, and there's QQQ trying to get back up to highs as well, 378. This is just on the 1 minute. We didn't crack that lower on that one. So yeah, here's what it looks like on the 60 minute. More importantly, let's go to the daily on the triple Qs. Again, look guys, we're very, very close to that August, or what is it, July high? Yeah, July 19th high of 389. Helped out by NVIDIA. NVIDIA's really held that 450 level. It's just bouncing around it right now. If NVIDIA can hold the 50 period, I think the NASDAQ does get going. But for me, I don't want to take any more positions long until we hear from the Fed. We already know what they're going to say as far as the rate, but I just want to hear, what their position is going to be. I think it's going to be flat. We talked about that, a hold. It's up to 97% right now. I just worry about what they're going to talk about moving forward. And generally speaking, you get a little bit of action, even though we already know what they're going to do. Let's hear if he's still data dependent. And you know what? We've got someone with a lot of experience ready to rock and roll. Let's hear this man's opinion on the Fed. We're going to welcome Chris in a minute, but for right now, it's Trader Talk. Let's run this. Chris, we can't have a better trader than you on the show right now. You have tons of experience. We talked about earnings plays last time. And by the way, how are you doing, Chris? We don't have to talk right into business. How was your day? How's everything going? How are you feeling? We have NFL tonight. You a fan of the NFL?
Yep, obviously I gotta like the Falcons, but I'm really a big Bears fan. So I still watch YouTube videos with Dick Butkus and stuff like that, and Gale Sayers and Walter Payton. So I hope I don't get anybody mad that
well, you've already got me mad there, my friend, because I am a Green Bay Packer fan, and we can be friends because we're in the same business. But if we see each other on an NFL date, I'd have to cheer one way and you'd have to cheer for the other. But I like the Bears' chances this year for sure. So is that because you're located in Atlanta right now, or Georgia?
Yeah, I trade on the floor a long time in Chicago, so I'm a Bears fan, but I'm really a huge Cubs fan.
Oh, the Cubs, yeah. So you're on that side of things, not a White Sox fan, I guess. Shout out to. Is there any rumors about Wrigley Field? I mean, I think that they got to keep that thing going for as long as they possibly can.
I haven't seen it. I always worry if they're going to mention like rumors of a dome, but that wouldn't be the same with not the wind blowing out and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that field is quite amazing with the ivy there and the outfield amazing. Toronto, of course, has the Rogers Center, the Sky Dome, which has you can open or close it based on the weather. That might be something, but anyways, okay, Chris, let's talk a little bit about trading. You sent me some ideas today. I did want to talk to you quickly, though, before we get to your support and resistance and some talk about that. Any feelings about what to expect next Wednesday? It's now 97%, maybe even higher. I didn't check today that the Fed's going to stay put right now. Is that a non-event for you, or are you looking to maybe be flat into that announcement? Any ideas as we look forward?
Well, the thing is, it really is a tough call, because it seems like the more that they say they're not going to tighten, the higher commodities go, and the lower the long bond goes, or the higher the yields. So it puts them in a pickle, because if they say that, yeah, they're fine, inflation's conquered, right, they'll probably have another leg down in the ZB, which I think is all sort of odd that the U.S. markets, sorry if I say we, that's very U.S. centric, sorry about that.
That's okay.
But the U.S. markets keep going up when the yields keep going up. I don't want to be a Chicken Little in here, but that's what happened in October 1987 is everybody got complacent. But I don't see that at the moment. Back then you had a real topping formation and a real horizontal line, which I call a Bretcher ledge. after a topping formation. You don't have that yet.
Yeah,
so I don't want to say like that, but getting back to the Fed, it just seems to me that, I don't know if you can see my screens, but here's the bond market. So the bond market closes on its low, but the NASDAQ and the ES closed near their high. And it just seems to me that if the bond market has another leg down because of the Fed, look at that, it's teetering on the brink of disaster.
Right.
Down in those catacombs, if that has another leg down, you got to think finally the market, the U.S. equities will listen. Just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I'm kind of the same way. I've been really thinking about adding, which camera we want, adding to some of these longs, but I really want to wait. I want to give it a little bit more time. September's actually, Chris, not playing out the way that many thought it would. People, generally speaking, September's been a negative month in the market, on average down about 0.7 on the S&P, but as of today, we are actually green now on the month, heading into what could be a bad second or last week. But come over to my screen right now quickly. I just want to, there it is right now. So this is the September 20th, which is next Wednesday. We're at 97% to stay put. And then if I flip over to the November meeting right now, we're still at two-thirds, 66.7 right here, that we stay put again, and then possibly a third of a chance that we get that quarter rate hike. And some crazy individual down here is down to 1% that maybe we get 50 points on that. And I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll pass on that. Just stay over here for 1 second, guys. I just want to see, is Lennar out yet? I don't see Lennar being out. So we just have Adobe. All right, Chris, I know you might have some things to share. So we are seeing your screen as you're sharing it. So that's great. Keep on doing that. That's what our viewers want. But I consider myself, and it's my number one strategy, honestly. I like using VWAP as well. Me and you have gone back and forth about your average true range indicator and things like that. But I really like to use just plain and simple support and resistance areas. And I know that's something that you emailed me about. So if you want, the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about support and resistance and some things that you look at?
Well, there are a lot of types of support and resistance, no doubt about it. You got the 50, like we've talked about on a daily. You have definite Fibonacci levels, all that. But when all heck breaks loose, usually I look at price support and resistance. And so here's the ES on the bottom. I'm not saying it bounced there, but it just seemed like the more times that it has tops, the more that becomes support. So now we can do that on a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 15 minute. And I'll give you, for instance, I know we talked about it in Meta. So we talked about this. So we were going back here, and I know I sent you an example of it, of Meta having this sort of triangle right here. So on the charts I give subscribers, I showed respect the break in either direction. Okay. So it broke to the downside. So then a lot of times you have a snapback rally, and then you fade there. But the problem is you got to have a reversal candle at that resistance. And today's a perfect example. Believe it or not, when I'm showing this on the left, it's almost the same price on the right. I mean, pretty cool. So if you go back to that day, so we go back, I'm going to take this day, and I know I showed it to you right here, August 10th. And you go back to August 10th using that rewind function. There's your breakdown in Meta on the left.
Wow.
And the problem in that is, oh, sorry, it buffered on me.
That's okay.
There.
Technology.
So you get that. Now, the problem is, I'll show you, because yesterday I did something for the Simpler Essentials room of how I screw up trades or how I do trades well. So the first thing is right here. You sell it right there, right at the resistance. Yeah, that looks great, 6 points. So you see, though, the little red candle on the right, that sort of reversal candle. Well, the thing is, where we screwed up the next day is we sold here on the way up saying, yeah, it's going to stop at 310. And we got immediately stopped out. And so, but then it played out. The key was the resistance and then combining that with a bearish pattern.
Right.
So instead of here, where I screwed up, you had to do it once it showed itself. And here you go. The resistance down here, you had the bear flag. You had the ATR trailing stop, it got under. So if I take all these other indicators off, you see it got under it. And that just helps me sort of with short-term direction. Now you see why I shouldn't have shorted here. I needed to wait for that and the bearish pattern. And then sure enough, it just kept going down and down to 300. So that was a good one. But contrast that to today. So it's right at that resistance again. And it's right at the 312 where I got stopped out. But you just don't have that pattern yet of a reversal pattern to tell me to play it underneath the market. So, and that's the big difference between now and the last time. Last time it was here. This time you just don't see it yet. You don't have that snap back to the resistance. Now tomorrow, if I see like a red candle in here and a bear flag, heck yeah, I'll play it. But I just don't see that. Like we talked about last Friday, you had this. It was a beauty. I've seen bear flag right there.
So, Chris, what I wanted to ask you quickly was, all this is great, right? So people are like, man, that's a lot of indicators. That's a lot of stuff to look at, right? But how much do you pair that with what the market is also doing? Because I generally will trade a lot of those big cap stocks, the Googles, the Metas, the Apples of the world, everything. It doesn't really matter. Whatever's moving, I'll trade, but Amazon and things like that. But I tend to note, especially a stock like Meta, you know, it could set up beautifully as an individual stock and some of those looks right there that you're giving. But if the NASDAQ's down 1%, you might be setting up for a great long. I'll tend to stay away from that because the macro, like the bigger idea behind the market, is actually telling me that I should maybe be short. Often I'll get a stock that's running into support, but that's because the market is hammering everything down. And I tend to stay away from that support level because the general market is just too heavy on that specific day. So I'll let it actually run through the support and then play it as maybe resistance on the way back up when the market turns around. But that's because, again, I trade only intraday, so that might be a little different than maybe some of those plays that you're talking about on a swing basis. How often are you looking also at the NASDAQ itself or some kind of an index that might help you aid yourself in a position like that?
Oh, sorry, I'm smirking, but I was ready for you. I wanted to show you what we're talking about is I have up all these screens. So I'm watching the big NASDAQ stocks all in here.
Okay.
And sure, if I see all of them falling apart, I'm not going to buy something at support. But if it is at support and they start stabilizing, I'll look for reversal candles, like bullish reversal candles. Okay. But I usually have up all these. And then on the bottom right, I'll throw some in that I watch. But it's like today. Let's say you saw something good. I don't know how much time I have, but I'll show you. That I think's pretty cool. Here is ARM opened. Now, just from experience, usually when a big IPO in let's say a tech stock opens, it sucks the life out of the other tech stocks.
Yes.
Doesn't mean all day, but it means temporarily. And look what happened to NVIDIA the minute that ARM opened.
Yep, we talked about that on the show.
It went straight down. So when ARM opened right here at noon, this went straight down.
Yep.
So that's exactly what you're talking about. That sort of experience that, even if it's at support, you just can't trust support if that historically has worked. Also, every other chip was selling off as well.
Yeah, we waited.
But yeah, then the support you sort of throw out the window temporarily.
Yeah, we waited until the bottom there to catch some AMD at 106.50, but we were the same kind of way right there as well, Chris. But yeah, look, it's funny that you had all those charts lined up because that's exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about, right? Is that you want to make sure that the breadth of the market is with you. And if you start seeing some turning around, I actually like how they were green, right? If they were up on the day, then those actual backgrounds were green and red. That's pretty awesome. I never even thought about doing that. I don't know. Is that
yeah, that's actually the VWAP. So
that's the VWAP. Oh, and below VWAP.
Pretty cool, the VWAP on a 1 minute. So if it's under the VWAP, it's red. If it's over, it's green. But it's not like I use that just literally. I'm using that. So if I see, let's say, Apple and I see Google and Tesla all of a sudden turn red and the rest haven't yet, that gets me in a big old warning sign to look for shorts or not buy support like you were talking about.
Yeah, we love big old warning signs because that is great. I mean, hey, look, man, I use VWAP, but I'm gonna send that request over to our developers because we trade on proprietary software over here. I'm gonna tell them to build that because that was pretty cool that you can look and say, if names are under VWAP, set the whole damn chart red. I really like that one. Chris, we are running out of time. I have a death clock on myself right now, and you've done absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us once again on the week. I'd say I hope the Bears lose, but I like you, so maybe they're not playing the Packers, so maybe they'll win. And we'll cheer those guys on as well. People are calling you the OG of Atlanta right now, so they're loving you in the chat. Thank you so much for that, and again, best of wishes, best of luck to everybody that trades with you and yourself. That's Chris Bretcher from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I love it.
Anytime. Thank you, Chris. All right, that's Trader Talk. Thank you, Mr. Chris Bretcher. Over 2,000 eyeballs right there on those ideas. So, I mean, again, all we're doing here on the recap show is, A, it's the best one around, so thank you for joining. Please like, subscribe, share the stream. We're going to be working on something for that as well. And this is real Trader Talk, right? You could find other channels that might be doing something else, but they're just going to be saying, oh, ARM IPO, that was great. You know, we're actually going over things. All right, that's good. Yeah, hit that for now. This is an old one. I like that. Like and subscribe there. Keep going on that one. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thanks, Fabian. I actually like that one. We can use that one for now. Why not? And no offense to any Chicago fans. I know there's a lot of traders in Chicago, but if you're in Chicago, then you know what's good between the Bears and the Packers. Two very storied franchises, both better than the Bills, of course. A shout out to my guy Neil right there, right now. Okay, the next topic. Thank you so much, Chris. That was great. Let's go to breaking news. I like this thing the best. And first of all, before we do anything right now, we can go over to this camera if you get a chance, because I don't see anything right now on Lennar. And maybe it's just, it's not out, or I mean, here, search by stock. All right, let's go search by Lennar here. Unless I've absolutely missed it. Yeah, I don't see anything. So we'll see, unless it's not in the pre-market, is it? I don't know, I thought it was tonight. Before open, okay. Oh, before open? Anyways, all right, we'll find out about Lennar. Maybe it's not even tonight, so maybe it's in the pre-market. We'll find out more about that, but if it hits, we'll talk about it. All right, the most exciting stock of the day, the ARM IPO. Now, I was happy yet sad at the same time, and you're going to say, how is that even possible? Well, okay, first of all, what kind of a trader am I getting out about 1 million times? Well, look. We were able to hold the trophy today. Max had a great trade at the end of the day going long. He surpassed me, which is always great. I like it when our traders are able to make a little bit of money, especially my guy Max over there. We went long on the IPO. Boom, all the way to the upside. The problem is I can't, you're going to see an out right there, and that's, you can't see that I got back in. Let me take away these quickly just so we don't have to see all these crazy fills, and then I'll put them back on because I'm proud of it. We made a decent amount of money, and it was my best day of the month. So you can see right there 64.50 getting taken out, or 64.50 on watch now for ARM. But this is what happened on the IPO, so let's just discuss it. The IPO comes out at 56.10, all right? Above the pricing of $51. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. I don't even really care about valuations. I know Neil was like suspect on the valuation, but look what happened to the valuation at the end of the day, right? So who cares about it? I don't. I think if you're going to invest, then maybe you'll wait a couple days, let this name settle down. But for now, it's a trading option, a trading vehicle is what I'm looking for. Nice move. But once it opens up right there at 56.10, to me, I had more than 1,000 shares, obviously. So as we talk about it, I have to keep. No, that's not happening, Fabian. As 56.10 opens up there, we got out of a little bit when it broke a little bit lower because the strategy for me on every IPO, and you're going to see me do it for Instacart as well. So here I am. If you hear me next week on the Instacart IPO, you can write a book right now on what I'm going to say because I'm going to do it again. If it breaks below its IPO price, I'm going to give it a little bit of room and then punch out. Unfortunately, I only gave it to 55.75. When it went down, I got stopped out right there. If I would have given it to 55.50, ciao. If I was going to give that to 55.50, then we would have been still in this name. But we did get stopped out of 75% of the position because, again, I didn't want to hold something. And next thing I know, I'm long at 56. It's breaking 55. After that, everybody like me is caught long, and I have no idea where it's going to flush out to. Now, in hindsight, we should have held it. But we bought it back when we retook that same IPO price again. So it got flushed down, weak hands, and I was part of that. We left that stock out. But as it started to rip back up, we just started taking outs. And you're going to see here as I put it back on, part fill. There it is. Boom. So there it is, and then you can't see it in here, but there is another green tick right in there. That was me going long again. It comes right back into that level. At this point, we're watching that 55.50. We don't hit it. We don't get stopped out. So fine. Thank you for that market, by the way, because if that hits 55.50, then I'm frustrated, and I don't know if I'm back in. But then it blasts back up to the upside. So although we don't have on our full position, we did have on a good position because we rebought it back up, but we weren't as confident. But then there it goes all the way up. So again, even to lose 70 cents, or not even, to lose 50 cents on 75% of your trade and then buy it back, well, look what happens there. These outs are $61.50, $62. So to lose 75 cents and then make $4, $5, it's all good. You only have to have 10% left to make that work out. So yeah, that was a good trade all the way back up to the upside, and we were able to get out at the top. Then we're done. All these purples are shorts. We felt like that was the top. So we started reshorting, getting out. Then we finally get flipped out of it once it takes 61. So the shorts are no good. Then we're like, okay, maybe that was a blowout. Let's go short again here on the 50 period. So the 50 period breaks. That's a short of 60.50. Out right there at 60 all day. Out again at 60. Out there at VWAP at 59. So by this point, man, that's $1.50 in the money. Then we get that big quadrunk move down. We get 58.50s there, or 58.60s. That's $2. So that's all good. We tried the short again right here at 60. It breaks that 60.50 level right there, and we get out. And it's a damn good thing we did, because then it extended to the upside. I still think ARM has a lot of opportunity tomorrow to even go higher. There it is. Hey, we are not on, HH1, substances right now, because Benzinga just reporting Lennar does come out right now. Yep, so it just comes out right now, 391 versus 351, a big beat on sales. They're also seeing future new orders, 16,000 to 17,000. I don't know what that was. Let's go over to Lennar right now and see what is popping here in the aftermarket. Yeah, so nice move up. So again, up and down here. Looks like it wants to hold fort, not do too much. If we do expect it to stop, the 50-period moving average is 122. Nice move, stops at 120, fades back out. So look at this. It comes out, we get a 115 bottom and a 120 top, now hovering around 118.50 for Lennar. All right, let's do this, man. We're now over time, so let's do this real quick. I was going to say, the wife tonight, guess what, man? She made chili on last Thursday for the opening. Tonight, she didn't even ask me, and I asked her when I called her around noon. It's chicken wings tonight, so that should be a lot of fun coming through. Good idea. Not my idea, hers, but that was a good one. Let's do a roll call right now. Let's do that again. I like this so much. Let's do a roll call. Who's here? Who's not? Thank you so much, Dinkelberg. He really liked the awesome show. Thank you so much for that. Chimps, Anthony's here as well. Natalia's always here. Bear vs. Bulls is here. 007 Kyle, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, Tony Price is here. Jameson, man, ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. All right, so that's a good one right there. Thank you so much, Chimps, everybody that's here. Angry Bear says hi, so I say hi to you as well, Angry Bear. Finch Jane is here. The Black Swan is not coming this year. I would agree with that. But again, that's the point about it being a Black Swan, Finch Jane. It is a black swan, and you never have any idea where that's going to come from. Dr. Strange right now says, Chris is great. Well, hey, guess what? I've secured that guy for a while, so hopefully he'll keep on coming back right now. I like chicken wings from Costco, that's for sure. How I like to do them, and maybe you guys like them a different way, I like to bake them. Put my face on here again. I like to bake these things in the oven if it's bad weather, but why not enjoy a nice barbecue? We'll probably be doing that tonight, but the wife is all over it, so maybe she's doing that. We don't have a deep fryer. We have an air fryer. Maybe chicken wings are pretty good in that. I don't mind that at all. You know what I like as my favorite, and I don't know what your guys' favorite is, but I really like a sweet Thai chili sauce. Like you get that on, you get a little bit of sweet, you get a little bit of spice with that. I like that. Dip that in some blue cheese or some ranch dressing, but not too much, not super healthy on that. Yeah, there we go. We are barbecuing up not only profits, but maybe chicken wings tonight. Thank you so much. Hey, love from Germany from Mar. Thank you so much, man. Actually, the only time I've been to Germany is with stopovers. there, but I got to get going on there. What's up to Christopher and everybody that else is in there right now? So thank you so much for joining, man. It's been a fantastic show. Lennar right now just bouncing around, not doing too much, 116. Let's check the temperature of Adobe before I let you guys go. Adobe pushing lower. Watch out for this level right here, 525 or so on the 50-period moving average. Lennar right now, 547, nowhere near that. I don't think we're going to get a huge flush unless something is said on the conference call. Thank you so much for everything, man. It's been a great show over here. We will continue to bring the fire. Another big guest tomorrow. We'll bring back Michael Noss. We talked about Valero. We talked about some breaking positions for him and how good oil's been doing, man. We've been all over that. We've been all over uranium and everything else. I'll take a drink after this, but I'm Sean Katina. Thank you so much for watching. I love this job. I love being here for all of you, and we're going to keep doing it every single day. This is the recap. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Join me tomorrow. Enjoy your evening, man. Give the ones you love a big hug and kiss, and we'll check you out tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.